He's the one and only Terry Gilliam. Good to see you again, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the time today. First thing I gotta say is watching this movie made me feel like one of the legs on my couch was missing. And I had to look under the couch and check because there were so many camera angles that were literally at an angle,
really?
and I loved that. I thought it was great, and it just gives sort of a unique twist on how you're diving into these scenes and
Basically
stuff.
saying the world isn't as level as you think it is.
Exactly. I like that. Very outside the box. Well played. One line that sticks out to me that I wanted to bring up right away was, life is a virus infecting the perfect organism of death. And I thought that was a really cool way, an optimistic way to look at something so dark and to realize everything that we think is so bright and special is really meaningless.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely meaningless because it just all goes away.
Well, the one thing we're certain of is death. I mean, so why not embrace it early on? Get used to it. Keep it close.
Sure.
It's like keep your enemies close. That's my theory.
Were you scared of death growing
No.
up as a kid? Like when did you realize what it was and what were your first thoughts about it?
I don't know. I think it, from very early age, basically I was thinking about who was going to be at my funeral. It was that.
You had a seating chart? You had everything all planned out?
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
But the basis was I was dead. And so it's always been like that. It was very weird. It's when we started having children. My wife started worrying about her death for the first time. I mean, at 30-some years of age. I said, that's a bit late, because I just always thought about mortality. When I did the first book I did about animations, it was called Animations of Mortality. It's an important thing. And I think, unfortunately, the modern world, especially America, denies the inevitability of it. It does everything to stop us thinking about it. And it's just there. Get used to it, folks.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for the distraction, but it's coming.
Exactly.
Nice try. Another thing that grabbed me here with this film is, as the years go on and as I get older, I start to see patterns just emerging in life. Like, oh, it's fall again. I'm going to hear that same news report, or I'm going to hear that same response from that athlete about the whatever situation he's in. And you just start seeing those things and you're like, why did I care about this so much? And what's really important in my life?
But that's it. I mean, we are surrounded by so many distractions. Coming to New York from London is just, it drives me crazy. We were in the car coming in, the radio's on, and it's nonstop, just noise. Everybody's, hey, it's all high speed. Hey, things happening. Yes, gotta have it now. Yes, oh, really? Oh, that's important notice. Oh, it's fantastic. And what's happening? The car is going nowhere because the traffic is such. So this is madness here. And that's years ago, and I left New York, which was in 64 or 65, I can't remember. It was because I couldn't stand it anymore. There was no room for me. It was just bombardment all the time about this world, and none of it meant dick.
Right. It meant absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, before we go, I got to talk about some Easter eggs. There's too much to talk about with this movie. I love the X sign that formed behind the benches or the chairs that the two main characters were sitting at, telling us what we're not even allowed to do. And I had to pause it like 3 times because I know there were going to be some treats in there. And there was this one sign literally had an X going through people sitting in a chair, right in front of the people sitting in a chair. It's like, was that your little jam?
No, it was great fun because there is a sign like that in Amsterdam, but it's a heart. It's at the end of a pedestrian precinct. It's all about nice things. And I just said, okay, put an X. And just everything we could possibly think of, we put up there, not to do. This is the way the world is. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's somebody saying, don't do that.
Yeah, no balloons. How do you say no to balloons?
Especially when they're selling them down the
down the street. Well, thank you for the time. I appreciate it. And I think I'm supposed to tell you that us liked it, and I hope yous did too, Terry. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's a nice way to wake up in the morning.